So Jagex just dropped an absolute bombshell. The future of MTX, our approach, and your involvement. Essentially, they've got a big video here saying that they want to change how MTX is involved with the game, specifically reduce it quite a lot. So let's have a little read about what is going on. So yeah, MTX, it is a major part of how they fund the game, but it is very much a thing that detracts from, RuneScape, basically. Like they say down here, 42% of responders to a survey feel microtransactions detract from their experience. And of those that buy them, 86% are unhappy with the mechanics of Treasure Hunter. And then we have 60% of X players felt that MTX detracted from their experience of the game. And then 63% of X players said they'd be more likely to return if we address the key concerns with XP related MTX. So yeah, that survey, like those numbers are massive. Obviously, it's slight grain of salt because the people that are most likely to be vocal are the ones that are most likely to be negative, but there is some positivity as well, I guess, where people say they would return to the game. So that's a lot of numbers. Those are some very big numbers, and what they want to do is change it, and it'll apparently be difficult and take time, and there's a lot to get involved with, but they are making sure the community is going to be heard. So let's find out what they're doing. So the big thing here is these in-game experiments, and what they are going to do is they're going to run for a limited time. They're essentially going to say, we're going to do this next week, or for the next 3 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever. I don't know how long. It says 1 to 14 days. One seems a bit short for an experiment. I feel like a week is probably the absolute minimum, but essentially they're going to announce something that they're going to do, they're going to run it, and then they're going to look at their data for that time period, see, were people happy, were people sad, did people engage with this, did people engage with that, is this worth investing in the future? And then, maybe it'll come back permanently. We'll have to wait and see. So, in July, this is not necessarily exclusively July, and not necessarily exclusively only these experiments. They could always do more in the future. We're going to have some things happening. So, the first thing here is rather massive. Disabling Treasure Hunter. So, I'm hoping this is not just a one-day thing, because that would be a bit silly. So I'm hoping that's going to be for at least a week, where Treasure Hunter is disabled, like nothing is there, no daily spins, no anything. So that is obviously a very big change, and they're going to have, I'm assuming, a lot of data surrounding that, and there's going to be a lot of community voices. There's probably going to be some people going, I missed my daily keys, which, it is valid feedback, that our daily key is good for the game. Not really, let's be honest. I mean, is any kind of key good for the game? Not really. But yeah, so Treasure Hunter disabled for a time period. But instead of Treasure Hunter, they will be offering bundles in the shop for stars and knowledge bombs, which is essentially you can buy bonus XP in the shop, and you can buy, actually that's also bonus XP, right? Basically, or knowledge bombs that are like double XP basically for a bit. So like it's sort of like buying bonus XP, but specifically they've said there are no lamps, it looks like. And I feel like most people do have a problem with lamps more than stars, because at least stars for bonus XP, you still have to engage with the game. So that much, if this evil has to exist, which, it's quite a big part of their revenue, they're looking to shift it. Like stars are definitely the lesser of two evils here. And also note, it does say they're capped at 1 bundle per day. So you can't buy a massive amount, but you can get a little bit if you want for just a small boost. So yeah, overall, it's going to be an interesting experiment. Hopefully the data from it is valuable, and hopefully they run it for long enough. My only concern is that maybe there's not enough time here. Because one big thing with disabling Treasure Hunter is people are going to have to use in-game resources. And I feel like there might not be enough of a short-term spike to notice that, but we'll have to wait and see. Which also kind of leads us on to our second experiment, which is double XP with only bonus XP available. So, essentially what this means is you must use either... Well, yeah, you have to use regular skilling items. Like proteins, dummies, and lamps are just completely disabled for the next double XP. So, if you've been saving up for double XP, then, well, now you don't need to, I guess. So the important thing here is that, once again, like, you need to interact with the game. Like, you need to buy in-game resources, you know, if you're training crafting, buy some dragon stones. If you're training fletching, you know, buy some arrow things or something, you know? Like, no longer can you just AFK there with proteins or dummies or lamps from your daily spins and just train skills in, quite frankly, rather silly ways that hurt the economy. You know, like a mahogany plank doesn't get used if someone's using a protein plank. So there's so many resources in the game that are way cheaper than they should be because there's just no demand. So I'm very curious what the prices on items are going to be this double XP. Like, it may take more than one double XP to actually have a, you know, a sizable effect, but I can imagine there should be at least something here. You know, like, a lot of people train a lot of their skills with dummies, you know? Dummies and proteins, like, you see them everywhere, and it is a sight for sore eyes. That is, it really is a sight for sore eyes. So this, I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. So very much looking forward to seeing how that goes. They've also got a cosmetic mega drop, which is going to happen at some point, where instead of cosmetics being on Treasure Hunter, they're all going to be just in the shop. So you want a cosmetic, you like it, cool. Pay a $5. I don't know how much they are, I'm just guessing. But, you know, a one-time purchase, guaranteed, and you get your outfit. So that's great, honestly. Like that is how, if cosmetics have to exist, that is how it should be. Like, none of this, like, treasure hunter gambling nonsense. Like, it's just bad for everyone, that. And it just doesn't feel good, does it? And then another big thing here is a bonus experiment. Cosmetic free worlds. So for the first time ever, there will be a world, or I guess a set of worlds, hopefully, like, you know, one, or a couple in America, a couple in Europe, maybe more if demand really is there, where you're not allowed to use any cosmetic overrides, which is very, very interesting indeed. So, yeah, no more MTX pets, no more MTX outfits. I do wonder, because they haven't fully clarified, do these cosmetic free worlds only include MTX cosmetics, or does it include in-game cosmetics as well? Because, you know, like, overriding a familiar with a boss pet is cool. Like, I have no problems with that. But overriding a Ripper with, like, that really annoying dragon, like that, like the MTX dragon thing, like that big guy, like, no one likes that. So I do wonder if it's just everything, or if it's just MTX stuff. Because one actual big problem with cosmetics that is criminally underlooked is that there becomes so many cosmetics in the game that you don't know which ones are from the shop and which ones are from a really cool achievement. And, you know, assuming or hoping that in-game cosmetics still work, you know, it could be like stuff from a quest, could be stuff from, you know, like 4000% Talos title, or like the 2000% Zamorak Chaos Witch outfit, or, you know, stuff like Insane Final Boss or Gold Reaper title, you know, stuff like that. If that still works, and it's just the MTX stuff that's disabled, that would be awesome. Because, you know, then you can really see who's gone the extra mile and achieve something super awesome. And then, you know, maybe that'll inspire someone new to be like, oh wow, maybe one day I can do that as well. So yeah, cosmetics, they actually do more harm than you might think. So I'm actually really hoping that this is going to be a big success. I really, really am. So yeah, if you want to make it a success, make sure you play on those worlds. And if you're not playing on them because of like maybe they're too busy and the servers are lagging, like make sure you communicate that to Jagex at the time. It's like I would play on this world, but there are 1,000 people here and my game is running slowly, so I've got to go somewhere else. So make sure you make your voices heard on all of these, honestly. Like, it's up to us to, show kind of what we want as a player base. So make sure we are communicating. Don't just like keep it to your like friends and Discord DMs. Like post that stuff on Reddit, on Twitter. I would say on the official forums, but we know how that's gone. I guess Discord as well. I feel like the Discord is a weird place to post stuff, but that's what they do a lot nowadays. But yeah, I'm going to use Reddit and Twitter personally. And I think you guys should as well. But yeah, make your voices heard, tell them what you like, what you don't like, and we can make the game better. It's all very, very exciting indeed. There is also an argument, of course, is it too little too late? Has XP and level been devalued so much over time that, like maybe it is too late? Because like so many people have got their 99s or 120s or even 200 mils just by daily spins or like using event-based currencies on their skills and getting insane XP. But it's better late than never. Like that's a definite. It is absolutely better late than never. So yeah, hopefully this is quite exciting for you guys. This is a massive, massive change. Here's to hoping that, Jagex will work with the players' best interest. Here's hoping that the players will communicate what they want as their best interest. Like they're hoping not to upset anybody. Everyone is going to be considered. And that includes people that do, spend on MTX right now. Like what would they be okay with? What are non-MTX players okay with? So here's hoping the changes will, changes that will happen will be very communicated and will be good for the game. Like this could be, the start of a golden road for RS3. Fingers crossed. But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But yeah, this could be absolutely incredible. So fingers crossed. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments about this. Is this a surprise? Is it a necessity? Has this been, coming for a while? I'll have to find out what you guys think. So let me know in the comments. And yeah, that is, the game is changing. The game is changing. Hopefully for the better. It definitely sounds it. So thanks for watching and see you soon.